and what is not is not a law. It is defined by the authority, society, custom, based on the reason. Statute law. Now, what is the common law? Common law is any unwritten law. These exist in the society. Every bad act is condemned by the society. The common law is any unwritten law. This is based upon the conduct, decisions, usage, and customs. Use of anything, it may be wrong or the right. Then there are certain customs, decisions made upon the conduct. The community controls the conduct of an individual. As you know, the conduct should be good, and all the bad habits or the actions, they should be prohibited by the society. So over a period of centuries, particular customs grew up, which are even still now in use in law courts. जैसे बहुत सारे केसेस वनी के आते हैं. These are the old custom. उसमें बहुत कम सिन बच्चे बच्चियां due to act of bad any other उनको कुर्बान कर दिया जाता है. पिछली कसम सी जब कोई चोर पकड़ा जाता था, जो जिस पे शक होता था, उनकी कन्फेशन के लिए उसको आग से गुजारा जाता था, या उसका पांव या हाथ डिप कर दिया जाता था ऑयल में. अगर तो वो चिफ्ता चलाता या उसको नुकसान पहुंचता तो वो उसने चोरी नहीं की होती या वो वाला एक्ट नहीं किया होता था. Then the common law is applicable universally. As you know that the societies or the community, they exist in all over the world. So there are common laws and the common decisions. These are not written, but every individual can know it. Then second is the statutes law or the state law. Statute law is a body of the law in written form. It is written form because it is the state law. It is enacted by the legislative body of the representative of the government, known as an act. Then law becomes act when the representative of the government or the parliament make the decisions in the form of a law already exists. Then in the written form it becomes an act, or it may be decreed by a ruler of the time, which is known as ordinance. Ordinance is always given or written by the president of the Pakistan or president of that country. Which one is the ruler? It is written and codified law of the country. Then the state law is of the two types, civil law as well as the criminal laws. The civil law is that law which deals with the rights of the citizen in a particular state or nation. Every nation, every individual has its own rights, and these rights are divided according to its particular zone. It provides remedies for the personal grievances of the individuals or the groups of the individual. जो भी छोटे मोटे तनाज़ात होते हैं, ये उनके आपस में ग्रीवियंसेस जो हैं उनको और उनकी उनको जस्टिस देने के लिए ये लॉ बनाया जाता है. It does not concern with the community as a whole. Issues like the industrial injuries, poisoning, medical negligence, matrimonial and the landlord-tenant disputes are dealt with it. These all disputes are common in the society, and for the good governance of the state, the civil law has been made and implemented by the courts. The damage because of the grievances, if they are, the party is right on the right side, the damage is compensated in the terms of money, maybe in the terms of punishment. Then second is the criminal law. Criminal law involves crimes and its punishment. It is that body of the law which exists for the better governing of the persons within the state. As I have told you before, that to control the individuals or control the actions, bad actions of the individuals, the state devised the civil law as well as criminal law for the good governing over the persons within the state. It includes all the offenses against the law. Then the prohibition of certain acts or the omissions is total. In the criminal law, the prohibition of acts which are mentioned in the Criminal Procedure Code of Pakistan, the omission act or its omission is total. It is observed by the all. It is the prevention is punished with fine, imprisonment, or even the death sentence. The purpose of the criminal law is to safeguard the interests of the community and maintain the proper law and order and the peace in the society. This is the main aim of the state law, both civil as well as criminal. In civil cases, the minor disputes, they will be seen by the courts, and in criminal law, these are the codified law, and according to the Criminal Procedure Code, the different punishments are given to the people in the form of fines, in the form of imprisonment, or even the death sentence. Because to maintain the proper law and order situation in the society. No, this is the I've you. Common law, it is not in the written form. Then the statute law divided into civil law as well as the criminal law. We have studied it in detail. The state law can be subjected to change either by the amendments, by the legislature, decree by the military personnel, or the invaders. These laws can be amended. It means these laws military person that decree the existing law and can change by its own or by the foreign invaders. As after the British invasion in the Indo-Pak give their law, which continued even after the independence. And still some sections they are practiced. These inherited laws were not in the conformity with the Islamic principles, because these laws are made all over the world by the society. So these are inherited and they are not conformity with the Islamic laws. Now, these laws have been revised in conformity with the principles of Islam. To do the conformity of these laws with the Islam, then the Shariat Ordinance came into existence in 1988. In it, according to the Islamic faith, the sovereignty over the entire universe belongs to Almighty Allah alone. The exercise of the authority by the people of this country must be within the limits prescribed by Allah. Now, what is the Shariat Ordinance 1988? It was also the basic principles of the resolution of Pakistan. You know it, Qaraardad-e-Maqasid of Pakistan. There will be the ruling of only one, that is the Almighty Allah. So all the Muslims of the Pakistan should live their lives in accordance with the teaching of the Holy Quran and the Sunnah. It is also recommended in the Constitution of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan that all the laws shall be brought in conformity with the Holy Quran and the Sunnah. And this is our basic aim, being a Muslim. Shariat Ordinance 1988 was an attempt to declare Shariat as supreme source of law in the country and guidance for the policy law making. Whenever a question arises before a court that the existing law is repugnant to Shariat, the court shall refer the matter to the Federal Shariat Court for decision on the issue. If any matter related to Islam or being a Muslim, and that act is repugnant with the Shariat, the court shall refer the matter to the Federal Shariat Court for the decision of the issues, because it was pungent with the existing law. One of the judges of this court has to be the experienced alim, well versed with the Shariat. The law further provides the authority for the appointment of the muftis for rendering assistance for the interpretation of the Holy Quran and the Sunnah to the Supreme Court as well as to the High Courts. It also constitutes the Islamic Ideology Councils, which time to time give suggestions according to the matters which are impungent with the existing laws. It is known as the Islamic Ideology Council. Then there is the Federal Judicial Council. Number 3 is the Commission to organize the economic and the educational system on Islamic lines. These were all the aims of the Shariat Ordinance 1988, which brought into existence with the Islamic Ideology Council, Federal Judicial Council, as well as the Commission to organize the economic and the educational system on Islamic lines. Now, this is all about the law and its types. Now, what are the law courts? Courts are the places where the people bring their grievances against others to seek the remedies or to seek for the justice. When an individual is accused of a breach of criminal law or contract, the complaint is brought before the court of law for trial and decision on the issues. It means that when an individual commits any crime or break the existing law or the contract, the complaint is brought before the court of law for grievances and the trial is held and decision on the issues will be made by the courts. A judge presides over the hearing and records all the evidences in writing presented to him by both parties. He finally concludes the proceedings, giving the decision in writing called the judgment. This is the picture of the court. Judges chair on the judiciary chair. Then on one side there is typist, and on one other side is the reader. Then the prosecutor and law officers, and then the defense. The waiting, then there is the place of the waiting advocates. Then there are also the public seats for the parties, both grievances as well as the other party, accused party. Then at a corner, then there is a cupboard along with the record keeper. This was the court layout. This is the real picture of the court. All the civil as well as the criminal courts have 3 levels. Number 1 is the courts of the first instance, courts of the second instance, and court of the third instance. So what is the court of first instance? This has a small jurisdiction consisting of a particular area. It hears cases which are the ordinary nature. These are presided over a magistrate for the criminal cases and a by a civil judge for the civil cases. Small areas are distributed 2 to 3 police stations to every magistrate or the civil judge according to the particular area. The cases they hear are the ordinary nature, usually mild quarrels are disputed among the families. Then comes the court of the second instance. These are above the courts of the first instance and has a wider jurisdiction consisting of whole district. It is presided over the district as a session judge for both civil as well as the criminal cases. It is also known as the district court, district and session court, presided by the district and session judge for both civil as the criminal cases. It also hears appeals against the decisions of the lower courts, which are decisions made by the first court of the first instance, which are contradictory. They can appeal in the court of second instance, that is the district and the session court. And district and session court hears appeals against the decisions of the lower courts. Then comes the court of the third instance. This is the High Court, the highest of the province. In each province, there is High Court. Now, due to the overburden of the High Court, the divisional benches, they are placed at the different districts which are thickly populated, such as Multan, Bahawalpur. It is presided over the judge of the High Court. The court has civil as the criminal jurisdiction and hears mainly the appeals against the decision of the courts lower to it, that is the session court as well as the civil courts or the magistrate courts. This is the roughly the sketch of the courts. That is, in each district courts, that is the second instance court, the small areas, they are divided to the magistrates as well as the civil judges. These are known as the civil courts as well as the criminal courts. These are also known as the area courts. Then the court of third instance is the High Court. Then comes the Supreme Court as well as the Shariat Court. All the courts, whether of the magistrate, session judge, or even the high courts, ask the medical practitioner to appear before the court for recording the evidence concerning examinee which has been examined by the doctor. This is compulsory, and this is we all medical officers, registered medical officers, have to do that. We can't refuse any medical legal case for examination in the public sector. Then the courts can call for the evidence for that particular examinee which has been examined during the period. His evidence is very important for the decision of the case. The courts have all powers to call any witness for the evidence. It means that you can't deny to give an evidence or go to court or a witness. Thank you. Next is the, ये जरा next का कर दें, अगला अगला जो है ना. You understand all? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.